The boys are back for another season of Million Dollar Listing New York. And this season, there's a woman in town as well. With a new cast member, hot market, and even more over the top listings, this season is one you won't forget. Take a look.
We sell this like a piece of art.
Okay.
I'm super excited to sell Mark Jacobs' house. It's going to be priced somewhere between 10 and 12.
I don't care what it is, as long as my people get it for the right number.
Run through the wardrobe! Rawr! Welcome to Serhant House, my own real estate company. I'm ready.
Did you hear from Frederick?
No, I did not hear from Frederick.
You're talking to people saying that I left New York and I'm gone.
Whoa. If one of your developers comes to me, I say yes.
And Ryan is with me now. Good to see you, Ryan. How are you?
Good to see you. This is so nice.
I know, it's so nice to see you. Listen, we got to talk about this season. Let's start with last season, though. Last season was a tough one. There were tears, there were lost deals. The market wasn't great, but if you watch the trailer for this season, it seems like things are turning around. So tell me, what are you seeing on the ground?
Oh man. Well, first of all, last season we made like 3 years ago.
Right.
Because 2020 didn't really exist.
Yeah.
And so we started shooting this season, which is season 9, almost in the middle of 2019. So it's been like 2 years almost, which is just crazy. But the season, it goes from kind of the market where we left off, which was, there's people, but it's a struggle, it's tough, to nothing.
Yeah.
COVID, pandemic, we filmed through that process, which is going to be pretty wild to watch back. Yeah. And then it picks back up with kind of where we are now, which is this sort of, are we okay? Yeah, we're okay. I should probably buy real estate. I need to move. I need a Zoom room. I need this, get out of my way. Bidding wars, craziness. So it's like the whole season will be a total roller coaster.
Yeah. Does it feel like it's been 9 seasons? I mean, when you think about that, has it gone by like that or what?
Yeah, yes, it has.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think back, 10 years ago when we first started, or 11 years ago, March of 2010, we started that show. Things were so different. I was so much younger.
Tell me about it. We interviewed you on this show when it started 10 years ago.
I was like 26, 25 when the show started. I mean, it was wild to think about, and yet it goes by in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I know.
Even just seeing the way the world has changed, like on that first season, it was all about big deals.
Yeah.
Like big deals, if you could do them. And there just weren't that many. Like I did a deal for $8 million and the press wrote about it.
Yeah.
People wrote about it. It was a huge deal, $8 million for an apartment in New York City. That's a lot. Now,
I know.
10 years later, if I do an $8 million deal, people are like, why would you even open your mouth? Why would you even talk about something
like
so
50 and up, right? 50 and up gets press these days.
Yeah, it's crazy. There are now 47 million millionaires in the world, and it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
And they all need a place to live, and a lot
They
of them
do. And something that we get to see on the show too is, things are looking up for Serhant. You open your own firm, you're opening a new office in Soho, big shiny new office. So, I mean, what's the most surprising thing you learned during this whole experience?
I learned that when things seem the toughest, that's when you swing the hardest.
Yeah.
And last year was an opportunity for me to take a step back. Right. I've been working really hard since 2008 when I got into the business. Let's do what everybody else is doing. Let's sit back. Let's spend family time. Let me just watch Netflix. Let's figure it out. Right. And instead of doing that, I said, well, everyone else is going to do that. So why don't I use this time to do even more?
Yeah.
And let's start my own company in New York City when 1 million people have left. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And it was terrifying for a while. But it's been really, really great so far. And it's been really cool and really rewarding. And no one else did it. So.
Yeah. I think you said before to me too, that the reason that you did it now is because the expectations were low, which is a really smart move.
Well, listen, one of the reasons why, because everyone just, they care about it. Like, are you okay? Is everything going to be okay? Really? You started it? Oh, wow. So good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. If I were to start it now, people would be like, obviously you started it now. The market's great. People are back.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the season. So Tyler, speaking of people being back, Steve and Tyler are back. Steve and Tyler,
And
not
I think
Steve
that
and
Steven
Tyler.
Tyler's not going to see. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want
Arrows.
to confuse people.
Yeah.
But you've got a new cast member too, Kristen Jordan. Tell me about Kristen. Finally, you got some female energy on the show, which is
I
good.
know, right?
Yeah.
I think they've been trying to cast a female agent for the show, like since we started. It's just hard. Listen, there's a lot of guys in the business. And there's a lot of women who are probably, too smart to even want to put themselves through all this stuff. It's
That's
a lot of
true.
work. So we finally got a great one, and she's awesome. And I've known her for a long time. She's a friend, Kirsten Jordan. She's a great broker. She's a big broker. And what's awesome is like we do deals together all the time. So we actually get to film a bunch of them. She brought the buyer for Mark Jacobs' townhouse.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We were filming that with Mark and his husband for the show. So you'll see how to sell Mark Jacobs' townhouse in the West Village this season. And she brought the buyer, and it was pretty fun. And that ended up actually being the deal that the whole show, I think, hinges on, because it closed the Friday before Cuomo shut down the city.
Oh, wow.
Thank God.
I'm sure Mark Jacobs is happy about that as well.
He was. And the buyers they were all planning to move in. They were going to do renovations. They still haven't moved in to this day.
Oh my God. Well, let's talk about Frederick for a second. Same drama with you and Frederick, but let me ask you this. So Frederick is out in LA. So can you really be at the top of the New York real estate game if you are not physically in New York, Ryan?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for you. Because remember too, this market is it about brand? Yes. Exposure? Sure. But there's also a personal touch to it. And if you call me right now and you're like, Ryan, I'm thinking about selling my home, on 23rd Street, when would you like to meet? And I'm saying, okay, well, I'm in California. I'm going to send someone else.
Yeah.
Versus saying, okay, how's 2:00?
Yeah.
It's a big difference for people. Like, do you want to go see your doctor, or do you want to see your doctor's representative who's equally as good, but not your doctor, not the guy that you dealt with, right? Not the name, not the face. And so it's hard. You can definitely have great business though, but it is difficult to maintain momentum from 3,000 miles away.
That was a very political answer that you just gave me. All right, listen, we see on the show and on your social media, of course, that you will go to any length, really, to sell an apartment. So what does it take to sell real estate in New York City, really?
Oof. It takes relentless follow-up, right? People don't know what they want until you show it to them, and until you follow up with them until they buy it.
Yeah.
You got to remind them of the deal, remind them of the home over and over and over again. And then they realize, oh yeah, no, you're right. That is the place I want, except it's my idea now.
Right.
Right. It's not your idea. It's my idea. I've made a decision now that I want that place. It takes an incredibly strong work ethic. It takes lots of energy, right? Lots of energy and an enthusiasm for the work, for the properties, for the people, however crazy the people are. Like, I have now turned it into almost like a game. When a client calls me who I know is going to be mean, who I know is going to yell, who I know is angry, I'm like, I try to think about him like on the earthquake scale. I'm like, I wonder if he's going to be 8, or I wonder if he's going off. Like, what is he going to do? Like a 9.2. Let's see what this is going to be. Make it a game, because I'm not going to die. Could it be uncomfortable? Sure, but I'm not going to let him ruin my day. And so you have to be willing to roll with the punches and play the game. And if you can do all that, then you can be incredibly successful as a real estate salesperson. And if you're a seller trying to sell your own home, you have to create the home that someone would want to buy, not just your home. I think that's where a lot of sellers get confused, is tidy up. But the minute someone walks into the home, like, whose home it is, because there's photos of you everywhere.
Yeah, they shouldn't be there.
The color is purple and the walls are all purple. Like, if you're looking to sell your home and you're a real seller, you need to prep your home to be as neutral as possible for anybody, so that people can walk through and say, I can see myself living here, not just, they definitely live here.
Yeah, totally. Which is why a lot of people end up staging their home, because somebody else's perspective is better to keep it kind of neutral.
Yes.
But we see some fabulous apartments on the show this season, including selling Marc Jacobs townhouse, which you mentioned. But what are some of the most exciting buildings or apartments on your radar right now?
Some of the most exciting buildings. So we just put a building on the market 2 days ago called Jolie. It's in Lower Manhattan. It's awesome. It's beautiful. It is really, really, really special. 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, over 10,000 square feet of amenities, 7,500 square feet of outdoor space, and all the amenities are on top of the building, which is really rare to find. So if you're in Manhattan and you like that, we just put a penthouse on the market on Broadway on the Upper West Side with the most incredible views ever. It's the penthouse at 2628 Broadway. We just put that up through our signature division for $10.5 million. And that's really exciting. And there's probably a lot more, but those two are top of mind right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of highs and lows in the real estate business, but is there like one listing that you can't let go of because it's like the one that got away?
Ooh. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a lot of those. I'd say, there's a building on Great Jones that's still on the market now with other brokers at 41 Great Jones that we worked so hard on. We filmed it on the show, worked so hard on it. It's only 3 apartments, but they're all huge. They're super expensive. It's in NoHo. The building is across the street from a firehouse, okay? A fire station. And so you bring very fancy buyers to come through this NoHo gorgeous loft. They're all really expensive. And then the sirens would go on, or they would be testing out the jaws of life, on the cobblestones. Oh no! Without fail, every time, no matter what. And we ended up losing the building to other agents. And that one I still think about a lot. I'm like, it wasn't my fault.
No. It's not my fault. It's out of your control. Out of your control, Ryan. Let it go.
Saving lives, ruining sales.
Yeah, the NYFD. You mentioned amenities at Jolie. What's the most over the top amenity that you've ever seen in an apartment? Because I've seen a few myself. So tell me what sticks out.
What's the most over the top amenity? There's a building, we're selling a building, Brooklyn Point, in Brooklyn right now. It's the tallest building in Brooklyn. Great tower, gorgeous. It's got a tax abatement for a long, long time. So you don't pay any real estate taxes there, which is awesome. So the monthlies are really, really low. And it has a virtual squash court.
Oh, okay.
Interactive screen where you hit the ball at it and you can play all these different games with a buddy or by yourself. And the whole thing is virtual. It like connects everywhere. It's so, I don't know, like it's like the future,
Yeah, you can do anything virtually now. Which we all learned this past year. Something else you're doing virtually though is your podcast, Big Money Energy Podcast. Yeah. Tell me who you've been interviewing on it and how are you having fun?
Oh man, everybody. Yeah. I mean, I spent quarantine doing 2 things. 3 things. One, I ate a lot of bagels.
Good for you.
It was just like, they were there. What am I supposed to do? They're there in my office. I can't eat a bagel right now. I'd have to go get it. And that's too much of a pain. 2, I built the new company with my team. And we got that up and running. 3, I wrote my second book, Big Money Energy, which then in just talking to so many people, we were like, you know what? I'd love to talk about this more and not just talk about the book, but talk about the ideas and the themes and talk about creating big magnetic energy and talk about how to build a version of yourself that is the absolute best version you possibly can build so that you can attract more success to you, right? That's the goal. So that you don't have to go after everything you personally want. You'll do that and things will start coming to you more. How do you be magnetic? And so we did this thing with iHeartRadio and created this podcast, and it's been awesome. And I've interviewed everyone from, Gary Vee to Barbara Corcoran to Ben Baller, who does all the chains and jewelry for everybody, to Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about space, to Yeah, Damon John, Tim Armstrong, who was there at like the beginning of the internet, was one of the first employees at Google. Like that story was just talk about timing and craziness, like nuts. He like bypassed salary and took stock options in a company no one believed in. Damn the future. Yeah, it worked out. It worked out for him. And so many other people. It's been so much fun just to also hear successful people talk about going from nothing to something.
Yeah.
How did they do it? And talking about their struggles and their failures, which is humbling, and also brings their incredible stories to a real relative realm of reality, I guess. Like to say, okay, if you can do it, so can I. And I think
it's inspirational for people.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because recently you were quoted as saying sometimes you shouldn't listen to your gut. How come? Why? Because you hear all the time that you should listen to your gut.
Yeah, there's a book by Malcolm McDowell, who wrote Outliers and David and Goliath, a very accomplished author. And he wrote another book called Blink, all about listening to your gut. Do what your gut says. And if I were to listen to my gut, I never would have started my own business in a pandemic, because what my gut told me was, all of your deals just died. You're locked in a cabin in New Hampshire. Are you kidding? Don't go start a new business. Take this time, sit back, wait till everybody out, the biggest companies in the world are firing everybody left and right and downsizing, and you want to go start a new business? What are you, crazy? That's what my gut says, right? My gut told me in 11th grade not to go up and ask Elizabeth to the dance, right? Because my gut said she's going to say no, you aren't right for her, and don't do it.
Yeah.
And I did it against my gut, and she said yes. Nothing happened. It never ended up working out. Liz, if you're watching this, what's up? But I think that people need to listen to the fear and let the fear inform their decisions, because your gut, right, is your stomach. Your stomach is in self-preservation mode at all times. So your gut's job is to protect the body, is to protect your mind, protect you. Mm-hmm. And if we only did what our self-protection tells us to do, then how can we take appropriate risk? How can we really go out on the ledge and do something that makes us a little bit scared, right? How can we do all those things? Yeah. And that's what that article was about in Fortune. Actually, it's the first time I've ever written for Fortune, and they asked me to write something. I was like, well, I have this one idea, and they're like, that's insane. That's not real. Like, yeah, let me see if I can make it make sense.
Yeah. Let me work this through on paper.
Yeah.
Well, let's end with a positive note. Your baby girl's 2 now. Is she 2 now?
Yes, she is. She's 2. My wife just sent me a photo. Where is she? She she's doing her own thing. We just moved into our house. So she's sitting on an air purifier with her baby. She has a diaper on. And she's taking notes on what she wants her parents to do for her. That's what she's doing. She's writing.
She's got big money energy already.
Very, very serious while sitting on an air purifier, because we just moved and my wife thinks that like the paint fumes are going to kill us all. So,
oh my God. How's the new house?
We are an air purifier factory. I think if you're looking for one right now, you're not gonna be able to find one, because she bought them all.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing we already bought ours then, because we've got them in our house.
Good. Yeah, the molecules, whatever those are, they're pretty. They're like the Apple of air purifiers. They're so pretty. They just hum.
And they're light.
50 of them in a room, and it's a lot.
It's a lot, but it protects that little baby. Well, Ryan, it's good to catch up with you as always, and thanks for taking the time. I know you're busy.
Thanks. Bye.